Hello and welcome everybody to another edition of the Jam and Cheese Show. What a round it's been, round 5 in the NRL. There's an unbelievable amount of injuries, fallout, implications, pressure, some amazing football, some fabulous victories. The Bulldogs obviously as well, but Cheese, we'll get to that very, very quickly. But how are you, mate? How's the body feeling after that grueling encounter?
Yeah, it was a tough one, obviously, having to play the whole stint, which is unusual for me. But, yeah, the body's going all right. The mental state sucks, losing, especially 2 in a row now. But back on the horse, we showed fight. Again, we played to the 80th minute. But there's a lot more going on in your life at the moment compared to mine. I see you were spotted in Buzz's column. And also, if you haven't seen Jimmy try to pronounce the word innovative, definitely get around to that. Emma Lawrence.
Innovative, that's the way to do it. I'm trying to say innovative.
Innovative.
Yeah, fuck. Mate, that was...
Poor Emma Lawrence couldn't finish her show.
No, so what happened is we have to do the advertising reads for when we work at Triple M. So we do some pre-recorded ones and we do some like live ones. So we did the pre-recorded ones first and I'm stuck on innovative.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not there though.
No.
Innovative.
So but I'm trying to say innovative and I couldn't get it out. And we were like laughing and joking. It took about 5, 6 goes and we're giggling along the way, but it's not too bad because it's pre-recorded. So even you don't have to go back from the top. You can just say the line again. And then producer comes in and says, just say it like this or say something else. Anyway, moved on. Then about half an hour later, we're doing the live one. So the show goes to air and then it's like, boom, you get something you need to do that live read. We'll count you back in. So we're doing the live read. And like we sort of do the signal like two lines. And then Emma starts reading the advert. And then I look down and see it's the same one. And I've got the innovative line in.
The pressure cooker.
I'm going, oh shit, this is it's going to air. I'm like going, what does it, how do you pronounce it again? Like, and then I'm start reading it, and then it's getting to it, and I'm like, and Emma has just started like smirking. I've started to smirk, so I've like turned away, and like I couldn't look at her, and she's like. Credit to it, she did such a fantastic job to get through that sentence because we were like crying, like in your belly laughing, and you're crying laughing, like oh mate, like.
Well, it's good because the ad actually got more coverage than it needed to.
Well, this is it, Cheese. Sometimes you mess up a live read, and Mitsubishi air conditioners and their innovative ways of getting through things got them more airtime, and then. On Buzz Rothfield, look.
What is that?
Well, he has a spotted section in the newspaper. And he, to be honest, a bit annoyed because he just put spotted playing 5-a-side. Like playing. And well, first off, he describes me as old. I'm 38. Like, I think that's a bit over the top.
It's not that old. Paul Gallen, he was 38 when he retired, wasn't he?
Yeah, like I've still, and if anybody had witnessed me play 5-a-side, I think there's one thing to say: I've still got it. It never left me. I've still got that.
I think if we're gonna compare oldness, Buzz definitely has you.
Well,
the big foss.
I should have said
fossil.
Yeah, old journalist Buzz Rothfield has made old rugby league player. Matt, speak to anyone. They'll tell you I carve it up.
Yeah,
I carve it up.
You don't strike me as a striker for first.
No, more the defensive aspect. But 5-a-side, you play both sides of the ball. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you just don't strike me as a soccer player.
Well, I come from Liverpool, where soccer's like.
I come from Liverpool,
so. So yeah, that I enjoy.
And you go for who?
Everton.
Interesting.
Why is it Everton's in Liverpool?
Oh, is it?
Yes.
That's what, very interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Fucking idiot.
Why is it Liverpool and Everton?
Well, like, because it's an area of Liverpool. It's like
Is Liverpool
Sydney.
an area of Liverpool?
No, Liverpool is, but Everton's part of Liverpool. It's like Cronulla is.
Oh, is that why Everton suck?
Well, like
Because
Manly.
they're like a baby version of Liverpool.
Look, I'm not going to go too far into the history of why.
Yeah,
Liverpool.
but like we've got a Manly Seagulls team. We don't have a Narrabeen.
No. But Manly's part of Sydney, and
Yeah.
so is Cronulla,
Yeah,
and so is Penrith. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Liverpool is a team that's like a big, like pretty much Sydney.
Well, but it's like South Sydney or Sydney Roosters. It's like Sydney Roosters, but there's other teams in Sydney.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like in London. There's not like a London team. They're more like boroughs of London, like Arsenal, Tottenham,
Yeah,
Chelsea. You know,
you've got me now. I don't know.
Just a little bit of a lesson there.
Sorry,
But
boys. Sorry about that.
In terms of my like footballing ability, anyone wants to come down on Wednesday night, witness firsthand just the array of skills, defensive,
I want to know,
getting stuck in.
was Buzz actually there or just?
I didn't.
He gets around, Buzz.
He does
because
get
I've been
around.
in that spotted column before.
Yeah, he's always at nightclubs and everything, isn't he? Like, no, there's Buzz.
Spotted Brandon.
No, I didn't see him personally. Then someone must have let him know, but obviously didn't give him a very detailed report. If he had been there, I reckon it would have took up the full back page. To be fair, just with my level of performance. But onto the football, Cheese. Your game against the Bulldogs. Like firstly, congratulations to all the players that took the field in treacherous conditions. The level of skill that was on display was quite remarkable when you take that into consideration. Thought the Bulldogs got the jump. You know, Reid Marnie hit under the ball in wet conditions. Scrum, Taff goes over, and the Bulldogs took the ascent. They took a good grip on the game. We'll get to some of the injury fallout and the suspension fallout and the HIAs soon. But how did it feel personally to start that game and just be under the pump?
Well, I thought we probably started the game the wrong mentality. I mean, I knew straight away that was a knock on. Like, you get those calls all the time where the balls, when you're making the tackle and they've accidentally like hit it with, but the refs never called that a strip. And I was like thinking, we tried to challenge that, and I was saying, don't challenge that. That's like, we can just defend this set, like back our defense or whatever. And I feel like we just started that. That started a bad mentality that set the tone for the game, and then it just got away from us. I don't think we kicked the ball for like 15 minutes in the first half. I think we just went error, and that took a toll on all the middles, and the rest is history, really. Like, they put 26 unanswered points on us in the first half, and that's unacceptable against anyone, like anyone. And we showed a lot of grit and determination to come back, and I guess a lot of belief. But
what was the chat like at half time at 26-0 down? Like,
well, the chat before the halftime was horrible. You know, we were arguing with each other, frustrations boiling over. But then we sort of come in and Trent was really calm. Trent was sort of composed, which is unusual, I guess, in circumstance. But I guess the chat was just, what a win this will be. Like, what if we can win this with 12 men? You know, a lot of things going against us. Just have belief and trust what we can do as a team. And went out there very calm and just played with a lot of freedom. Like, when you've got one man missing, you can't really run your shapes and everything that you used to run because, well, there's one guy that's not there and that's usually there. So we pretty much had to just go to one side and then go back to the other side with all the players on the edge. And then when we went down to 11, it just became even worse because, like, you actually can't call proper shape.
Yeah.
And then I feel like everyone was just moving for each other for the sake of moving with each other, not for the sake of someone called a play.
Yeah.
And that's where our best footy's probably lying at. So
there was a 15-minute period there where Roosters scored 4 tries and the Bulldogs only had 1 set. They actually completed that set. It was a crazy shift in momentum and dominance. And look, I give credit to what the Roosters did. I wonder how much the Bulldogs thought the job was done. But it was a fantastic game to watch. I was not at ease watching that game. I was on edge.
I'm glad. Like, a lot of my family and friends said like that was one of the most entertaining games of football to watch, and everyone, even people that don't support Roosters, were barracking for us because it'd just be such a monumentous bloody comeback, but it just wasn't to be. Wasn't to be.
The Victor Radley hip drop was a joke.
Like, Connor took his legs out. Like, Connor took Red's, Red's jumped over him.
Well, Radley had his hand on his shoulder. Like, he had his hand on Stephen Crichton's shoulder. So you can't, how can you perform a hip drop tackle when you're holding somebody's shoulder? I
don't even think his hip hit.
That was...
It's tough.
That was the wrong call. And obviously, I know the referees and the bunker were under pressure, but that was the wrong call.
Yeah, we're still down at that point, though. And that played a part, and it definitely would have helped having him to make the comeback. But 26-0. Again, we beat ourselves in that situation. But
what do you make of the Dom Young one?
Now, as a Roosters player, I'd like to see him go for 10, but seeing that you lost Bulldogs lost their fullback for the whole game, I feel like...
I think, it was interesting to hear Trent Robinson's comments after the game that he thinks a new standard's been set and he's happy with that standard if it's rolled out across the game week to week. And I agree with them, because you can see some instances that have been or that have happened this season that not too dissimilar, that haven't resulted in a send-off, because that's the first one in a long time. I think what caused the send-off was the fact that Blake Taff was face in the ground with his neck twisted and his body in a V shape.
Yeah. It looked very sickening.
It looked horrendous. And it makes me uneasy, because I've been in those situations before and you're like, oh God, that was me, and all the stuff around concussion. I think the optics of it looked horrible. And I think that whether you like it or you don't, it does play a significant part in the decision-making process. So I think some of the comments around, I think it was Jerome Luai on Bailey Simonson for Penrith against Parramatta. He's caught him high. Simonson has failed. He's left the field, but he wasn't sparked out. It was the same sort of forceful, direct contact, but not a full-blown knockout.
Yeah. Well, it's like one of those ones that before they even go for the HIA, he's not coming back on the field. Oh,
mate, he was snoring.
And that's how I feel it should be. If you're... I'd say it's foul play. It wasn't malice. He didn't go in intentionally to hit him in the head.
No, of course not.
You know what I mean? And it wasn't... It's too bad, but he's collected him in the wrong way. And knowing that he's not coming back on the field, I think the player responsible for that should not come back on the field either.
Yeah, I understand Coach Robinson's frustrations. And I think if that incident happens again, we'll see that player sent off. But if the severity of the injury or the optics of the injury aren't as severe, they probably won't. And that's, whether you like it or you don't, it's sort of...
Yeah, if he doesn't get fully knocked out...
Yeah. Or if he gets knocked down and he's dazed, confused, and needs to be removed for a HIA, he probably doesn't get sent off.
No.
And even if he subsequently fails that HIA, he probably doesn't get sent off. But
hopefully Blake Test's all right, because it did look nasty.
I
saw him after the game though. He was in good spirits, which is
well. Obviously, for me, I was gutted for Taff, because that's his best game in the Bulldogs jersey.
Yeah.
That cover tackle he did on Dom Young, like
when he came off though, that's when it all started. The field started evening.
Yeah.
So maybe we did send Dom in there, mate.
Don't say that. The injury carnage, obviously, as well. You guys losing Walker, losing Tedesco with 2 HIAs. Was there anyone else from the Roosters get injured? I can't remember. There's been that many injuries. Obviously, as well, like during that game.
Oh, well, Sawali went off for a HIA, 15 minutes.
Yes, he did. Harrison Edwards, he was removed. I think he went to hospital, actually, to get checks. That
Josh Curran.
Yeah, Josh. Mate, there was carnage everywhere.
That was on my bloody eye.
Obviously Bronson Cherry makes a return after 4 years out for a doping ban. Michael Jennings the same. Like
very rare situation.
There was so much to take from it. Just how is the Roosters injured players at the moment? Tedesco, obviously, pretty nasty.
We've only had the one training session. It was only 40 minutes, but I dare say that Tedesco would be getting treated as best as he can possibly. So I don't think we'll see Teddy. The
fallout from South Sydney continues on. Fantastic performance from the Warriors at 6-4. Around about 10 minutes before half time, the South Sydney's, I think it's Shaun Kepi offloads. Warriors go bang bang. Offload. Latrell Mitchell concedes a lifting tackle penalty, which was, for me, the worst of the 2 incidences involving Latrell. I think that's worse than the elbow. He's not being charged for that particular incident, but he's looking like 3 weeks for the elbow. Warriors march down the field, score again. Souths are in absolute free fall.
I don't know if we did the preview for the South Warriors game, but I sort of knew that it was going to go in that direction just because the way Warriors have been playing the start of the season, it's just been pure, what do you call it, ball and play, arm wrestle type footy. Like every game they've played, they've kept the ball in play a lot longer than everyone else. They put people in corners, and that's exactly what Souths hate. Souths love that stop-start, a bit messy football, and Warriors are a genuine contender this year, like a genuine contender, I think.
I think I'm going to have to backtrack and backflip. I think they are as well.
Yeah.
God.
What did you say? They're not going to make top 8?
I said they might not make the 8.
Yeah, I think they
might not.
Because the 2 games they've lost, they should have won.
Well, this is the thing. So if you look at the Warriors season, yes, there's plenty to like about their performance, but until Saturday, they've not been able to put a team away. They've just made.
But see, that's the thing. I know what you mean.
They couldn't put the Storm away. They couldn't put the Sharks away.
Yeah,
and then even in their 2 victories, they weren't like they should have been. They should have put them to bed a lot sooner than what they did, but they just dominated.
The Sharks one took brilliant defense, and the bloody Melbourne one was just
yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah, they definitely have, but at the back end of the season, you're not looking to put teams away. You're looking to win fighting games.
But they had opportunities to put them away. But then, obviously, this round 5 game, they've just tore South to shred, and I think it's a bit more of a reflection on South Sydney.
Yeah,
like the talk now is Jason Dimitri has a week to save his job. They play the Sharks this Saturday, then the bye, and if they don't win on Saturday against the Sharks, he's gone.
Yeah, I did hear that, and I agree with you. I thought the Latrell one, I thought it was a fend gone wrong. Like he's fended and like it's deflected off the ball. Like if you watch it in slow mo, I watched it in slow mo. Like he just sort of thing, and then his elbow's coming through as well, and you can see he was immediately sorry. I just feel like he gets a lot of flack, man. He gets a lot of...
The poor bloke.
He just gets so much shit goers. Like, he's immediately apologised. He knows he's done something wrong. He's not. No one intentionally elbows someone. Like,
No.
Unless you don't like a bloke.
Well, you could argue, like, he keeps involving himself in these instances, but I think the 3-week suspension will be a blessing in disguise for him.
I did see Billy Slater barrack for I'd say the exact same situation. So it's a good time for Bunnies to reflect and Latrell to go away and reflect on his game.
Yeah, I think the Bunnies... I spoke about this yesterday on some Sunday Simbin, and I can relate to situations where you're almost in denial of what's going on, but they just don't look connected as a team. And I've been part of teams before where we've been in denial about the slide that we're on, and we block out the noise and we just focus on us. But it's like we're in free fall here. It happened at the Bulldogs. We didn't have the caliber of player that South Sydney do. A lot of the experts are saying, before a ball was kicked, despite South's not finishing in the 8 last year, they still had a premiership winning roster. So if that's the case, then like I don't understand why they're playing at this level. Yes, they've got some issues. They've got some injury concerns. Their middle forwards look like they get dominated and pulled apart at times, which is not going to help you win football games. The Wade Egan was just toying with them. They had absolutely no idea how to deal with Wade Egan. Now, I know what it's like playing in the middle against good dummy halves. Like we got to win every ruck. Yeah, we're going to win every ruck. But surely you plan for when you don't win the ruck, because you'd be naive to think you're going to control Adam Fanua-Blake on every carry. Yeah. Like, he's going to get a quick play of the ball, and then Wade Egan is going to jump. You do it. So if I'm playing against you or Wade Egan, you get a quick play, you run. If you run, where does the line break happen?
Behind the ruck.
Behind the ruck. It doesn't happen out wide, does it? No. So the process would be, and all good coaches would teach this, that if I'm a single marker and my teammate's down, I've just got to fall back. My A defenders then come up and join me, and we create a line. Yeah. And that makes your job more difficult, right?
Yeah, then it's just basically run.
Yeah, you're just running to make meters. Yeah. You're not going to make... It's harder to make a line, concede a line break, or achieve a line break in that situation. Yeah. And then you'd have some hole runners outside.
We're like sort of banking on you to make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
Which is either you bite, or one of your guys building the line doesn't come up and make the line with
and
you.
Make a almost like that.
Yeah, like triangles. No one likes triangles.
Well, you like that a defender sometimes invites you to run down a certain path. Yeah. Yeah. But South don't seem like they're implementing that strategy. And all middles, and look, I know how hard it is when you're in that
the washing
machine. You're like, oh God. But you have your fallbacks, and South just don't have that. And I guess thinking back to times in my career, the Dragons are a great example of 2018. We thought we had a premiership winning roster. We got injured. We advanced to week 2 of the semis, lost to South actually. Gone away, reflected. We thought internally, like, we can give this a red hot crack. Now, there was an off-field incident which completely derailed the season, but we still had the talent on to go out and do something. But we were distracted by something else. And perhaps, myself, Cam McInnes, Tyson Frizzell, Gaz Widdop, Ben Hunt, senior players, like, we were probably in denial about how much this issue impacted the group, and probably the same with the coach as well and the CEO. Like, we were in denial about it. So sometimes that can happen, but you look back now and you go, well, all that off-field stuff was going on, but you know what? We blew an opportunity here. And I look back and think that was my last crack at winning an NRL title. And for the likes of Cody Walker, who's 34, Damien Cook, 32, they're the senior players. Like, whatever's going on, they need to go, like, we're fucking running out of chances here.
Yeah.
Like, running out of chances. Like, there's not many next years for Cody and for Cookie. Like, they're going. Like, you're counting on half a hand.
Yeah.
How many chances you're going to get? Because time runs out.
Father Time undefeated.
He is. But I would almost wonder if the best way to do it is to have go to a pub in Redfern where you know the landlord or landlady, lock him in a room, get that Dutch courage, speak the truth, come back together.
So I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. Like, and obviously we've spoken there about some tactical awareness stuff around middle defence and dealing with one marker and coming up against elite dummy halves, but they just seem so disjointed and out of shape. It's probably a bit of both, but and you know what, I really like Jason Demetriou. The man can coach, I guess, and sometimes.
Did you ever met Dragons?
No.
He was at Dragons, though.
But yes, I think he was. I think sometimes, like, I speak about being in denial. The reality of the situation is, I think at round 11 last year, Souths were leading the comp. So the evidence is there that they can go, well, like, less than a year ago, we were the best team in the competition.
Yeah. I wonder if the tactical move of Kalamatangi was a big failure.
What do you mean?
Well, they moved him from the right edge to the left edge. Yeah. And he's one of the most devastating back rows in the comp last year. Why mix up a winning formula?
Yeah, maybe you've got a point.
I think that needs to be rectified.
Rectify that.
And then also you've got Lockie Elias.
Oh, man. How unfortunate is that? The last play of the game. Like, literally the last play of the game in New South Wales Cup breaks his leg.
Yeah.
For a charge down kick. I don't think the charges have come out yet, but that's awful news for him. The injuries, like we say, I think from that round, there's like 20. Reynolds did a hamstring, Mariner back fracture, Tedesco Walker concussion, Harrison Edwards neck concussion.
Did Mariner do a back fracture?
Yeah, mate. You know, Xavier Coates, like, you know, he like AFL style, like rode him. That fractured his back.
He played that whole game.
I know. You could see he was out of sorts, but that is
broken back.
I broke my back.
It's spinal.
Yeah, mate. The list goes on. Garrick, Liam Henry concussions, Johnny Bateman, Flegler shoulder, Farnworth shoulder, Kafusi hamstring. Jeezy looked quick on that line break.
He looked quick until he didn't.
He was begging for some support. He's just like, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. Where's the support?
Oh, the commentator was like, look at him. He's running with 25-year-old legs and then this 32-year-old leg.
You can just see him like, help. Yeah, Farnworth with his shoulder, that looked bad. Zach Labert in yesterday's game, ACL, Foran. Yeah, bad news for Zach Labert. He looks like he's going to be a really good player. Kieran Foran didn't return. Jordan Rapinoe as well, knee. And even a touch judge got injured in the Dragons Night game. Dragons Knights game, did a calf. Yeah.
They moved though.
Oh, mate, in the wet. Mate, the game was like a bog, mate. Barely, mate, you don't even have to sprint if you're a touchy in that game.
Well, how do you do his calf then?
Well, probably
incorrect.
He's not warmed up.
Hey, he hasn't had enough assaults.
Yes. But the Eels, who I actually haven't fully seen the game against Canberra, but I was surprised looking at the result. The Eels without Mitchell Moses, they look lost.
Yeah. It was just a situation where Canberra were incredibly good and Eels were incredibly bad. like 7 tackle kicks, knock-ons, like their passes weren't hitting the mark. And Canberra, just like everything they did was bloody good.
You know, I think that's a Ricky Stewart masterclass. His press conference against Cronulla after Cronulla, when they're 18-0 up, I think that set the tone. Where Parramatta lose by a field goal against the Tigers.
Gutherson missed the penalty goal.
But obviously then there was no response. But Ricky Stewart was beyond fired up. Like that again, I've not fully seen that game, but it appears as though they've responded for their coach. So.
I don't know what the average set distance was in that game, but Canberra had that power game on a string. Like the outside backs. Who's the winger for them? What's his name? The 2. James Schiller. He had spiders on him. Matt Tomoko was...
Mate, he's a gun.
Matt Tomoko was unbelievable, bro.
He is a gun.
Like his try sit, like he was unbelievable. They just honestly rolled down the park the whole game. Like I couldn't believe it. I don't know what happened. I feel like it was what happened with us with the Bulldogs. They just got a leg up, but then they didn't stop for the whole 80. Whereas we sort of got some momentum back. Like she was a tough old game for the Para. And I've been against Canberra when they get in those moods, and it's just so life draining. So happy for Ricky. Mate, have you ever met Ricky? Because he knows how to fire you up. Like even when I was at Dally M's a couple of years ago and I met him, he's getting me pumped up. Yeah,
he can have that effect on people. Mate, talking to us like other games and all the carnage of this weekend, like Manly's victory over Penrith. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah. There was another absolute doozy in that game too. I put it on my Instagram even. That's how bad I thought it was. It was probably the worst thing I've ever
seen. The Kohler try?
Yeah.
From the Talau knock on?
Yeah. It's probably the worst thing I've ever seen.
It was so bad.
It's so bad. It's so bad that it's laughable. Like, it's actually, they haven't come out and said it was the wrong decision yet, have they?
I think Annesley's press conference is today.
That's what I mean. Like, the bunker and the match review committee, they need to get together because, like, the Victor Radley one, like, he didn't even get charged, but he got 10 in the bin.
Yeah, it must be so frustrating for Graham Annesley, Andrew Abdo, Peter Volandis to be like, why can't these guys get on the same page? But you know what else pissed me off? Thursday's game, Dean Mariner takes the ball, lies on his back. Munster just goes, thanks for coming, scores. He said, no, mate, that's genius from Munster.
Mate, he didn't even touch him. He grabbed the ball. He grabbed the ball.
It's live. Why is that not a try?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was genius.
It is. It was.
Only he would think of that.
But mate, how good's that? Because you hate that no one's going to blow a voluntary tackle. It's a penalty what Mariner did.
Yeah.
He's not moved. He's just staying there. But Munster went, no, I'm going to have your ball off you, mate.
Mate, everyone's just standing around like, what? How is that considered a tackle?
Yeah. But mate, that
Vossi was going off about that. Yeah. He was like, this is what players are going to do. They're just going to lay on their back.
Yeah, hold the ball up and say, come and take it, and have a penalty. Go on, you take it. Oh, I've got
hold it with one hand.
Yeah. I'm tackled.
Put a little silver platter underneath it.
Well, you could. So if you're a winger, you catch a ball, land on your back, and just hold it with one hand and say, come and take it. And then we'll get a penalty out of yardage. But mate, the Kohler try was... it was laughable. You're right.
But you got to take your hat off to Kohler because him and Jerome Alua were the only two people that played to the whistle. Like everyone else just stood around. Like everyone at Manly, like you can see Tommy Trebojevich's face after thing knocks it. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
And Talau's just like, beauty. I'm going to show everyone how fast I am.
Yeah, mate, it was...
Probably going to get called back, but I look good running.
Yeah.
Jeez, he's fast.
Congratulations to DCE on becoming Manly's all-time leading appearance.
And probably the best on the pitch as well.
Yeah, like he was good.
He was on everything, competing, and I don't see him slowing down. Like, he's 35.
I think so, yeah.
But he doesn't look Felice Kafusi 35. He doesn't look Jesse Bromwich 35. Oh, we might need to cut that.
No,
we might need to
no,
cut
you're
the
not-
Felice Kafusi, but I don't want it to break my neck again.
No. We are. We're going to clip that up and send it to him. We're going to send up all these comments to.
But like DC has had an injury for
yeah.
ages. Like,
Yeah, he was good. Mate, the old timers are rolling back the years.
mate, Shaun Johnson.
Johnson.
I actually caught up with him before the game. We were staying at the same hotel because we went and stayed at a hotel in out west, across the road from the stadium. Caught up with him and I was just saying, mate, how are you doing it? Like you were trash at the Sharks. What's happened? Like,
Did you actually say that to him?
yeah, but they know that's me. I said it in front of everyone. So I was like, mate, I don't know. You're like a fine wine, like, and it's, I don't know, something about the Warriors, man. They're just
What is it about those older players, geez, that you think? Is there a change in the game or just experience?
Well, I feel like the players like of that caliber, for example, DCE and Shaun Johnson, that play with a lot of time and just can kind of, it's the new halves coming through are more ball playing, running sort of half styles, whereas those old timers used to be that, and now they've figured out the game. Like Cameron Smith, how did he do it? I was around him for so long, and he just figured the game out, how to get around, how to dictate the speed of the game. And that's what I feel like, not having to put yourself in those bad situations because you know how it's going to play out. I feel like that's what the old timers do the best.
Yeah, they don't go after everything. They know when to go after it and when to pull back.
Well, like the Shaun Johnson you see nowadays is worlds apart from the Shaun Johnson you used to see back in 2013. Like it's
Apart from when he fucking broke England's heart in a World Cup final.
that was
But thanks for
2013. That's
Yeah,
the
it was,
exact
mate.
one I was
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of.
Prick.
But see that one there.
I wish he was playing like he was now, then, and he wasn't cutting people in half.
Yeah, wasn't breaking people's ankles.
Oh, fucking hell. That hurt that day.
But that's what I mean. That they've been around the game so long. They know the ins and outs of where they need to be and where their strengths are, and they play to their strengths a lot better than they used to.
Me observing it, do you reckon the young halves almost try too hard, and the older ones know when to try, and there's a difference? Does that make sense to you? Like, so young halves say, I need the hands on the ball. I've got to do this, got to do that, and those legend players, the older players, they don't shy away from that, but they might just keep it simple.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. And like you say,
Well,
know the situation to go, dial it up, right? Now we go.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think the old players are now game managers, whereas the younger halves are trying to be game breakers. You know what I mean? They're trying to be X factor. Well, that's how you have to be. Like Luke Galvin, you see him; he just always wants the ball, always wants to run, always. Whereas Shaun Johnson's always setting people up, always managing the game very well.
Maybe he can't do what he used to do anymore as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like you play to your strengths. Yeah.
He's too scared.
Although
he's too scared.
How old is Tuivasa-Sheck?
Yeah, but he's just different. He's been having a rest for 2 years.
He eats his collagen. I know that.
Yeah,
because he's got some fibers on him.
He's
that
had
boy.
a 2 year rest. I don't reckon Johnson could snap shimmy shake past the front row anymore. I think those days are gone. He's realised it, and he's gone, I'm gonna have to start being a game manager. Only joking, SJ.
What a loser.
Yeah.
No, whereas Sheck is just. You see that last week when he
the one against Newcastle, step, and then Adam Elliott's gone, I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna step again. No, I'm not. To be fair, Adam Elliott did the right thing, because if you're looking at predictions and probabilities, you're going to go, he's going to step me, and I don't want to look like a fool.
No,
I'm just going to set myself nice and low. Bink.
Yeah, but I'm on the other one. I'm much preferring, Rogers done me on the other. Then Rogers just run straight over me.
Oh, dear. It's phenomenal, some of the performances that the likes of the Johnsons, the Cherry Evans are putting in. It's absolutely sensational. We got some questions, Cheese.
Questions?
Yeah, I'll let you read the first one out. Muzz Dooley, thanks for...
What do you think the most innovative? What do you think the most... Jeez, I'm struggling now.
Innovative.
Innovative rule that come into the NRL this year.
2040.
This year.
Yeah, well, I mean, I can't even remember the new ones for this year. The 2040 underutilised.
The innovative rule that come into the NRL this year. Well, the leg lift one's a joke. I've seen about 50 in the last week. So I don't know what they're doing there. Just be a little bit better. What was the rules they brought in? The downtown? That hasn't really been a thing. Oh, yeah, the dropout.
No penalty. Yeah.
I don't know if it's an innovative. More probably the opposite.
I honestly think the 2040 is underutilised. Players haven't got the balls to do it. And neither would I. And if my halfback went for a 2040 and it didn't come off, I'd be letting them know. But someone just do it. It's not that hard. I practice them in training all the time. It's not that difficult to kick a 40-20 when there's no one back there. You know, like if you're just on an open field, you just got to pretend there's no fullback. Just go for just drill it into the corner. Because how far is a 20-40 kick is
40 metres.
40 metres. It's not hard to kick a ball 40 metres. The wingers are never back there. The fullback's probably a bit shallower. Play 3 because you're in your own 20.
I myself have kicked one.
A 20-40. Have you?
First one ever.
Oh, well done. Do another one.
History
I
books.
reckon
I'm in the history books, Jimmy.
For Melbourne or for Roosters?
Melbourne. Kicked it against Penrith in prelim. First ever.
Did you mean to do it?
It's obviously, Jimmy. No slouch either. Dylan Edwards.
Did you actually mean to do it, or you just kicked early?
Well,
you just gone early kick.
I knew the rule, but like we were a fourth tackle behind our 20.
Yeah, and you just...
So I've just punched it, and he's like shadowed it out. He's not like... He's happy with the scrum in the middle.
Yeah.
Running
Unlucky.
Boys, I'm a genius.
When did you know?
No, I knew straight away.
Oh.
I knew that it was going to be a 20-40 if it went out, but I wasn't exactly going for that. I was going for distance. And then like I've hooked it and it's landed about 10 metres away from the line, but it's like because it's hooking, it's kept rolling. And he's a metre away from it, just shooing it out pretty much.
Well done.
Yeah,
maybe should Trent Robinson do a few more. We'll do Kyle McLennan, 24. What are the conversations like behind the post when a team is piling on the points, and how hard is it to stop the flow? Cheese, I'll go to you.
Why would you give it to me, Jimmy?
Well, you've just recently... you're the most recently experienced. I've experienced a lot of those. From my point of view, it's sometimes like just you don't say anything because you've set like the first one or two. It's like, right, we've got to do this. We've got to kick off. We've got to do this. And then you're there again and you're like...
Sometimes it's just...
you say it best
when you say nothing at all. That's a good answer to the question, actually.
That look on your face lets me know what you're thinking.
What's that look? Dom.
There's a truth in your eyes. Yeah, that's probably a good way to sum it up.
Yeah, well, like it's very hard to stop the flow sometimes, especially when your captain got knocked out 20 minutes in.
Yeah. Final question, Daniel Murray. Who's been the most underrated player in the first 5 rounds of the year?
Let me think.
I'm going to go Morgan Smithies. I know he's had a bit of raps, but I think...
Well, he's not anymore because you rated him. Yeah. And now I've heard you rate him.
Yeah.
He's then rated for me.
Canberra probably don't get enough credit for what they've done.
It's funny you say that. You last year we asked that question and you said Matt Tomoko.
Did I?
Yes.
Matt, he's
not underrated anymore.
No. But I reckon Morgan Smithies is probably giving Canberra massive value for money. And obviously being at Canberra, they don't get the same amount of attention. And obviously some great lock forwards in the game. Like Isaiah Yeo, Victor Radley, to name but two. Tohu Harris. Probably Tohu Harris could be underrated. Like, does he get enough credit for what the Warriors are doing? Cheese, are you awake?
I'm trying to think. There's someone.
I just sort of looked across your eyes like, I was like, are you trying to think or have you just...
Thinking's difficult for me, Jimmy. I really got to focus. And there's someone that I'm pretty sure, unless we've... Like, Wade Egan is definitely underrated for me, but I feel like he's getting his props now.
I reckon he might play Origin.
Or Mitch Kenny.
Yeah, Mitch Kenny. Probably a bit underrated.
What he does for a team, he's very underrated. That's why he's just re-signed with the Panthers. No, can't think.
All right. Well, that wraps it up, Cheese. Who have Roosters got this week?
The Knights.
The night home or away? Oh, it's Thursday night, isn't it?
Mate, we've got three Thursdays.
In Newcastle, yeah.
We've got 3 Thursdays in a row.
Do you not prefer the Thursday?
No, because then you train on Sunday. Training on Saturday and Sunday.
It's just a day, though, isn't it? It's days are just a made-up thing.
Yeah, I know, but they're like...
So are months of the year.
Some days are better than others. For example, Saturday, Sunday is worth more to me than a Monday, Tuesday.
Why?
Because all your friends aren't working.
Tell them to take the day off.
See? Be a shit friend, basically, what you're saying.
No, I'm saying being a good friend, take the day off.
Take the day off, mate.
Yeah, just calling sick.
But yeah, like you train, so you play Thursday, you train, you don't train Friday, then you got Saturday, Sunday on the pitch.
It's an unfortunate situation to be in, but
I've got 3 of those in a row.
The tough life of an NRL player. I mean, should we start a GoFundMe page? If anyone wants to donate, just compensate Cheese that he has to work on a Sunday.
And it's not double pay either.
No, yeah.
It's not double
mate,
pay.
Not double pay. Mate, I reckon we have a bit of a whip round tone.
Every other person in the world is time and a half.
Yeah.
Not me. Slave labour.
My heart bleeds. I work on a Sunday as well. So
do you?
Yeah, for Radio Triple M. But, you don't hear me moaning about it, Cheese. I just get on with it and enjoy it. Because I actually go to work. Well, you go to work with your friends.
But this is the thing, Jimmy.
It's not, and also...
You can have 5 schooners and go into Radio Triple M. I can't go 5. Well, I could.
Good. Yeah.
But I'm not. I wouldn't perform as well.
I would never drink on the job.
That's very responsible of you.
No.
I didn't bring my bar round head in today.
You idiot. What's that cap?
Let's
not talk about that other hat.
This shite hat is my missus' hat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just have to cover the mug, go incognito.
Yeah, the Byron hat looks much better. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll see you next week. Enjoy the football this weekend. And, Cheese, enjoy Newcastle.
Thank you.
Don't work too hard.